Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? Davey Z coming to you live from Alden, New York. Taking a ride out to the hangar. I got a little story I got to tell everybody. I've been a musician my entire life. Since, well, not since birth, you know what I mean? But I started playing guitar when I was like 6, 7 years old. My father put a guitar in my lap. And I always enjoyed singing. Pardon the hair, I'm letting it grow long. I always enjoyed singing, so I ended up being a singer, guitar player, drummer, what have you. And I've had some really good bands through the years. I've only been in like maybe 7 bands in my life, 8, if that says anything for what I do, because that tells you that I know how to keep a band together and keep working. A lot of bands have a lot of drama. Bands have animosity, he said, she said bullshit. I don't deal with that. I learned a long time ago, to be a pro, you have to act like one. Dress for the occasion, so to speak, if you will. I put on that musician hat and I do my thing. Now, I've always been the kind of guy to be fair, no matter what. I've always been fair with the money, with the gigs, dishing things out, whatever. It was always an equal split with bands. But when I get burned by musicians, I have a rule. I never go back. I don't go backwards. It's just a rule I have. Now, we've all been dealing with this COVID. It's going on 2 years, basically. Well, a year. What am I saying, 2 years? Seems like 10 years, but we've all been dealing with COVID, so nobody has really been able to play out. No bands have been able to play out. Now, I left my band, Midlife Crisis, in October of 19. Okay? Is it 19? Yeah, 19. October of 19. And I had 3 gigs remaining. And the only reason I was leaving the band was because we always had a yearly meeting where we'd pick new tunes to put on the list. And I think, from my experience, knowing what I know and all the people I've worked with and been on stage with, what have you, and I've been on stage with some pretty famous people, I know what it takes to work a crowd. And I know what kind of music they like to hear. I just know. It's my profession. I've done it long enough, and I've done enough of it. And I whatever. So I stand on what I stand by. I believe in professionalism right off the top. I don't care if you've been playing an instrument for a month. If you want to be in a band, you got to be a professional about it. And that's just the way it works. You take the good with the bad and the ugly. The highs are high and the lows are really low. So I'm going to back up to maybe 20 years ago. I was working with my band, Davey Zee and the Renegades. We were rocking. Some drama happened. We parted ways, but we stayed friends. There was some animosity, I'm not going to lie, but we all got over it and moved on. It didn't take long either, a couple months, maybe a year, whatever. I haven't worked with them guys since. They've invited me on stage before, back 15 years ago at a bar, and I didn't want to do it, because that's just the way I am. You burn me once, that's it, I'm done. On the other hand, if you never burn me and we break up, I'll work with you again, absolutely. Now, Midlife Crisis was a rockin' band. It was co-founded by me, a guy named Tom, a guy named Gerard, and a guy named John. John was the drummer, Gerard bass player, Tom guitar player, and me the singer, and rhythm guitar player. They were all friggin' phenomenal musicians. I mean, I can't tell you about the quality of their musicianship. They're the best. I don't work with shitty musicians because you got to have good sound and good vocals. And the backup section for vocals was great. Tom and Jay always provided perfect harmonies, we gelled really well. We did well for about 6-7 years. And then it got to the point where we had our meeting in October of 19, and my sister just passed away, and I wasn't in a great frame of mind. I had just moved back into my house, and I was losing weight all the time. I had a lot of things going on, and emotionally I wasn't there. So me and Gerard had a blowout. Some words were exchanged. He wouldn't leave my property. And in the heat of the moment, I said, well, maybe my 12 gauge will get you off the property. Well, I didn't have a gun with me. It was in my house. I would have never done that. It was just, he wouldn't leave, and I wanted him to leave, and he wouldn't. So, and by the way, I have every right to do that if I needed to. But I would never do it. So, getting back, when he leaves, we break up. So a year goes by. I worked with another band, then COVID hit. I was working with a great little band called 55 Main out of Tonawanda. I was filling in because their awesome singer had some issues. He had to have a surgery done, and they needed me to help him out. So I did. It was great. Had a wonderful time. Good crowds. They were a lot of fun. And then COVID hit, and the gigs went south. So here I am, not doing anything, just like the rest of us. All musicians in Buffalo, throughout the country, the world, whatever. Bars are closed. There's no bars to play at. So now they're having it where you could go back and play in 50% capacity, what have you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, I had an opportunity. There was this park called Gateway Canal in North Tonawanda, New York. And every Wednesday night, it's a concert. Okay, every Wednesday night. And to get on the bill for that concert is like pulling fucking teeth. You got to be a good band. You got to have a good following. You got to be in the system, so to speak, all right, in the local industry. And we were. Now, they also have Thursday nights with the food truck, taco trucks, pizza trucks, whatever. They all come up. They have a band off in the corner, and it's a little less. It's not the big stage, but it's a good gig. Doesn't pay much, but if you're a musician, that's okay because the gig is great, and it gets you exposure. Anyways, we did this every year. Well, one year, about 4 years ago, we got the bill on the Wednesday night because we were that good. And we rocked them. We blew people away. Now, there's a rotation. So we waited almost 3 years before I even heard anything about playing there again on a Wednesday night. Plenty of Thursday night gigs, but the Wednesday nights were very hard to get. A lot of good bands in Buffalo. And if you got a tribute band or a show band, you got a better shot at that gig because that's what they like. And I know this because I know the guy who runs it. He's a friend of mine. Long story short, I called the guys up because the guy from Gateway called me. They had a slot on July 7th. The bands broke up, but I was willing because we had so many people that loved our band, and the Gateway people wanted me, Tom, Jay, and a drummer because that's the band they liked. They don't want Tom, Jay, and Bill. They don't want me and my new band. They don't want me, Jay, and another guitar. They want us three guys. If we're not available, someone else will get it. So I told Bob I would talk to the guys, but go ahead and book it because I'm sure they'd do it. Well, boy, was I wrong. Bass player Gerard was all set, willing to put everything aside. Him and I, it's all good. He's pro. But Tom, I don't know about Bruce. He never mentioned Bruce, but Tom said no. He'll never work with Dave again. Davey is not in my vocabulary. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. And I know it's not Tom. I know it's his girlfriend in the background, starting all the shit. See, she was the kind of person who always whined and cried. If you said hello to her, how are you? You were in for an hour-long story of how much pain she's in. So we got to the point where we all just said, good to see you, instead of hello, how are you? Because then there was no, oh, well, it's just, oh, okay, good to see you too. And left it at that because we all got sick of it. And she and I had a good relationship at the beginning. She was kind of like a big sister figure to me. And then she got fucking weird. And she got nasty with me on stage one day, and she's not even in a band. and she yells at me for putting something down, and she picked up my case with microphones and threw it across the stage, and there was like $3,000 in that case, and I got pissed, and I told her about it. Well, after that, she didn't talk to me. 2 years, she wouldn't talk to me. And now, 3 years later, we got an opportunity for a good show, a great check, a great payday, and I can guarantee you there would have been 5,000 people. But the one guy put the kibosh on it. So I had to let Gateway know. I apologize, but I have to cancel because Tom don't want nothing to do with me. Guy's an idiot. Why would you not want to do a gig and please your fans? You ain't a rock star. You're still in Buffalo. You're approaching 70. So your days as a rock star are over. I mean, yeah, you're playing when you can, but get over yourself, Tom. You ain't all that. You're a good guitar player and a pretty good backup vocalist, but you just blew it. You could have had a name for your new band, and I could have got it for my new band, and everybody would have been fine. But because you're a 66-year-old stubborn, you know, what are you going to do? So that's my bitch for the day, guys. I had a great gig, and I got screwed out of it because one guy is married to or not even married to her, but he's with Yoko Ono. That's the way I put it, Yoko. So anyways, guys, that's my story. So the moral of the story is, if you ever get in a band, make sure everybody knows up front that we're all professionals. Nobody's a rock star at this point. Nobody. I mean, there's a lot of people locally who think they're a rock star, and I won't name names, but a lot of people know who I'm talking about. But I'm not one of them, believe me. I just do my thing and have fun doing it and get paid and make a lot of friends. I mean, just from being in the band, I had almost 5,000 friends on Facebook. I didn't know any of them, maybe 100 people I knew. I just went through and cleaned it up because nobody talks to me, and I'm going to start a new Facebook page for my band. So the new band is called Midnight Crisis. Davey Zee's Midnight Crisis. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you like this video. So look for Davey Zee's Midnight Crisis coming to you soon in a club in Buffalo. I'm out of here.